making pizza. Here's what you need for pizza. Flour, water, salt, yeast, and then, you can add other stuff. Olive oil is a thing people add sometimes, but we're not doing that today. We are making a 66% hydration dough, roughly 2% salt, 1.5% yeast, and we're just going to put it together. We're also going to be using a pre-ferment called a poolish. That's right here. I already made one, but I'm going to make another one right now. All this is equal parts flour and water, and then like a sprinkle of active yeast, and it will rise over the course of time, and you will have a pre-ferment, which will help your dough be more extensible. It'll have better texture. It'll just be breadier. It'll be a bit better. Just so do this. Don't skip this step because it'll be totally different if you do. And it just takes 12 hours to 24 hours in advance notice. So just, I want to eat pizza tomorrow, do it the night before, and then when you get home you can do this. Anyway, so here's how you do it. This is really easy. Also, if you want to eat pizza, use a food scale. It's the only way to do it right. It really is. I mean, volumetric measuring for this kind of stuff does not work. I used a bigger sort of deli container last time because I did 100 grams each of water and flour. I'm just going to do 50 in this one for the next thing I'm making. So this is how you do it. I like to do the water first. You can do it in any order of the three. We're going to do a little bit of yeast, a little bit of flour, and a little bit of water. You can do it in any, but for a poolish, the water and flour are equal parts. So I'm going to measure 50 milliliters or so. Doesn't have to be perfect, but try to be good. Let's try to do it in one shot. Nailed it. See? Huh? It's fun. Anyway. So this is like lukewarm water as well. You don't want hot water or cold water because this yeast will die. And we're just talking like, just a little bit. About that much yeast, if you can even see it. Probably like 24 granules or fewer, maybe more. That's probably even more than I needed. You really don't need a lot. And this is active dry yeast. I've used instant yeast. They're different. I don't know why. I get the active dry because J. Kenji Lopez-Alt told me that this was the better thing to get. And I forgot the distinction because I don't use the other one. Although I think I just accidentally bought a bunch of instant yeast, so we'll see. If anyone knows why instant yeast is different, I'm sure you can look it up. You can let me know in the comment. Okay, so 50 biddies? Yeah, give me biddies. I stream too much. Okay, 50 milligrams of flour as well. So this is going to hit 100. And then we'll be good. You can also do this with like a spoon. Or whatever. Take this out. Also, if you take too much, like if you dump too much, I guess I'll show you. Here, I'll dump just a little bit too much. You just take it off the top. It's really not a big deal. Just don't mix it in first. Or maybe I won't. Maybe I'll do the exact right amount. Let's see. Actually, I'm going to try to get the right amount. Go. Okay, that's good. All right, we're good. So we did 50 each. We're just gonna mix it up. You can mix it up with anything, your finger if you want, I guess. So I do the flour second because if I do the flour first, in the bottom of my deli containers it like sticks. It might still stick a little bit, but anyway, it'll come together and it'll look like goop, and that's all you need. You just need some goop. You need a little pasty thing. You're not trying to build gluten in this. You're just mixing this together. This is so easy. Literally no effort. I mean, the biggest effort is measuring it, and that's it. That's the whole thing. So that's incorporated. You could get more finicky with it if you want. Doesn't smell yeasty yet. Put the lid sort of on it, not like sealed, and then just pop it over there. In fact, let me open this boy up a little bit. I accidentally shut it earlier. So, I mean, you can seal them, but that's a poolish. So, now that you know what a poolish is, this has been sitting overnight beforehand. This is 100 each instead of 50. Actually, I probably need it on, but whatever. We're going to just mix our dough, and then we're gonna sit around for a while, let it ferment, and we'll do stuff together. All right. So the first thing we need to do, let me set that there, is your dough hook. There are many hooks, but this is the one we're going to use because we're making dough. Surprise. We're going to take this out. Make sure there's no bullshit in there. Stuff falls in it. What are we going to do? We have 100 each, so we're going to do 200 grams of flour and 100 grams of water. So not a bunch of dough. I don't need a ton. So tear it off. Let's do this first. Let's put the water in. So we need just 100 grams of water. And again, this is lukewarm water. So like a third of my pizza or so is going to be the poolish. There we go. Hard to take water out, so be a little ginger. So next I'm going to put the yeast. It calls for 7 grams of yeast. I think that's probably, I probably don't have that much, but I mean that's like a lot of yeast. Let's see if we can get to 7. We'll probably get to like 4, 5. Oh, I have it. Yay! Oh, I had a little too much. Oh, well. There we go. So I'm running out. That'll be fine. Anyway, so let's mix this up just a little bit. I'll even mix it with the bottom of this. It's just... and you want to let your yeast bloom a sec. Just to make sure everything is good to go. Ding, 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 ding. Just get it off down the sides. Mix it up. You can use a whisk. In fact, maybe I just should to beat this up real quick. Huh. There you go. All right. So those are going to sit around for a second and get happy. So at this stage, don't add your salt right away. You can harm the yeast. Let it sit around a second because, you know, salty water a little bit, kind of acidic. But we can start adding. I mean, we really don't. I know this works because I used this on the poolish yesterday. Like, so I don't need to wait for this to really activate. It's not going to change a ton. It's still going to have to do all this, like, in the flour and stuff. So this smells like yeast, and it's probably a little past ripe. It's a little warm in here, but that's okay. It doesn't really matter right now for me. If you want it to be absolutely perfect, you can really pay attention to your poolish behavior and the temperature, and you can get really dialed in and start making like really perfect pizzas. But at home, I mean, like, poolish is poolish. Each one's going to give you a little bit different situation, but mostly we're looking for flavor. I mean, you know, if you really want something to taste great, you're going to want to make your dough balls, and instead of eating them the day you make them, let them ferment in the fridge for like 3 days. Do some long-term, was that bulk fermentation for like 3 days. They develop more bready flavor over time. So you can see I'm just adding the poolish. I don't want to get my hands all fucked up. Let's put a glove on. Let's put a glove on for this. You can just get your gams in there if you don't give a shit, but I don't really want to get flour all up in the hairs of my fingers and stuff. So anyway, just go in there and break the poolish up into the flour, or the water. And you'll be able to feel that it's already got like strands, you see that? That's from the activity and the yeast and stuff just over the course of time. Gluten formation, dude. Beautiful. It doesn't have to be perfect or anything. You don't have to like get this 100% incorporated, but just like, you know, I try to get it to something you wouldn't want to, you know, like a snot porridge. That doesn't sound good, but it's in this state for a very brief period of time because we're about to add some flour. So get some snot porridge about that. And then we just need to add 200 grams of flour and we're good to go. So we're going to add some flour, 200 grammies. And then this is pretty much the most work we're going to do until we make the pizza and eat it. So, yeah. Ooh, don't touch it. It'll fuck up your measurement. Should have grabbed a spoon, dude. But now I'm in too deep. I just wanted to get this right. 200 200, right? Yeah, 200. 200 grams of flour. And this is so, it's going to be like 66% hydration dough or so. I've experimented a little bit. I think 66 is a little wet for people, so you can go less if you want. Go like 60. See what you like the taste of. There we go. All right. I have a pizza steel though, so I can get pretty. I mean, you know, if I had a pizza oven, I could get even wetter, and it would have big risey. You know, it steams inside the pizza oven, so it gets like big old crusties. Anyway, this should be good for our purposes. We need the dough hook, and we're just gonna start incorporating this on low. We need a lot of pizzas now. Oh, we need salt. Don't forget salt, dude. Hold on, we need salt. Got all excited about using my dough hook. Okay, so we need about 10 grams of salt for this. So, just gonna take some grips of salt. That'd have been sad. Need some salt right on top of the flour there. Not gonna hurt anything at this point. And you can tweak this, you know, if you make this and you're like, that's too much salt, take it out. That's not salty enough. Put it in. You could also add like herbs and stuff if you want to make a bad pizza crust that doesn't deserve to see the light of day, but would probably be tasty. Just be a totally blasphemous thing to do. But you could, like, I could crumble that thyme in there right now and probably be really good, but you don't want to add too much to this at this point. Some people add like honey for browning. You could add a little honey. Some people add some olive oil, so it adds like this fatty texture, and it is good. You can add some sugar here instead of honey. Be a little bit New York style. It'll be a little chewier if you add the olive oil. So, you know, there's ways to go. I kind of want like a Neapolitano style right now. So anyway, we're gonna incorporate this. Don't want it to go. You want to kind of manage this because it's gonna. Once it gets into a clump, you're gonna get fucking. It's gonna shoot flour everywhere. So you got to be a little ginger with it at first until it incorporates. But you can't be too ginger with it. You gotta let it. You gotta let it go. And then we're gonna let this. Once it starts incorporating, we're gonna let this knock around for like 5 minutes. We're gonna time it. Time it and go about 5 minutes. I didn't bring my phone over here. Fuck. I'll use my timer over here. See how it's coming together? There we go. Okay, but can't let it go too hard because we still got some loose flour in there and it's gonna poof up. My ratios will be off and also I'll get messy. Mostly messy. Won't be that far off. Alright, I think that's coming together. Get that up to medium for now. You can hear how the engine is like, man, but I really want to go up one more gear. Anyway, it'll start. There we go. There we go. Okay, it's locked in. Set a timer for 5 minutes. And then when that's done, I'll be back. So we're about 2.5 minutes. We're about halfway in through our kneading here. And this is why we do it. You can see it's already coming together better and it's starting to shear. In fact, this is starting to hold together really well, but it's still pulling apart a little bit. So we want this to keep going. You can also do this without a mixer, but you have to use this. You have to take this sticky dough and take it. Here, I'll show you. Here, I'll do a slap and fold just for you, okay? All right. This is what you do if you don't have this. When it all starts coming together, you gotta do this with your hands or a spoon or something. You gotta put it on your counter, unfloured, preferably. Just take it. Genuinely, just do this. Okay. So if you don't have a mixer, and in fact, this is a really good idea if you want to get dough feel and like really understand how it feels. It's a workout though. Anyway, stick that back in there and let that go for another 90 seconds. Anyway, you can see it doesn't make that big of a mess overall, but you still got to clean your hands up. But not so bad. Anyway, gets going like that, and then we're gonna have nice strong dough. We're gonna let it ferment for a while, and then we're gonna come back and portion it out, and I'll show you the next step. Okay, let me see. I'm kind of liking where this is at right now. I'm gonna let this sit. So maybe 4 minutes for the size of dough that I did. If it's a bigger piece of dough, maybe 5 minutes. So here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna pull this out. You see how it's like sticking to me? You gotta move kind of quick and it won't stick to you as bad. Don't be scared of it. I'm gonna get a little black on it from my hand. I'm gonna take it and slap and fold it a couple times just because I wanna get more of a shape here, okay? And then what I'm gonna do is it's gonna go into a ball. You can also do this in the bowl, but it's gonna be put into a ball like that, and then I'm gonna take just a towel, put it over top, and then I'm gonna take the timer, or it's finished now. I'm gonna take the timer and set it for, in this heat, sometimes I would do an hour. I'm gonna try 45 minutes. And I'm just gonna let this ferment for a while. You can do an hour, depending on where you live. And when that timer goes off, we'll reconvene, and we're gonna give it a couple portionings, and then we're gonna let those pizza dough balls ferment. Some of them are gonna, well, like one of them's gonna go in the fridge maybe, and one of them will keep out, and we'll look at the difference of the fermentation. And then I'll make some pizza. So yeah, we're gonna eat pizza. Anyway, I'll also probably make, I have some sauce. I don't know if I want to make sauce. Maybe we'll make sauce anyway. I don't really, Sarah doesn't eat it, so maybe we'll make some pizza sauce anyway. Okay, be back. Nah, I'm just kidding. Of course we're making a sauce. I'm making a sauce. All right, first step, get some boiling water, have some tomatoes. Here are the tomatoes, plucked off the vine. Delish. We also have some basil, I have some more over there, and then we have some garlic. Let's get our garlic going. Let's get the little woody end off. So we're gonna get the boiling water boiling, and then we're gonna pour it on the tomatoes, and then we're gonna cover it, and then we're going to let them steam for a little bit, and when they're done steaming, they will be able to be peeled, and then we're gonna peel them, take the insides out, cut the cores out of them, and then make a sauce. I also have some onions back here that we're gonna use. They're kind of at the end of their life, and I don't have any other onions except a red onion, and I don't want a red onion in here. So we're gonna use that. We're gonna use some garlic. I do have some green onion bottoms that I could use as well. Kind of any kind of onion will work. Shallot would work. I might even add some of them green onions, I don't know. Depends on how. This is gonna be pretty garlicky though. I think I'm gonna go with a garlic heavy situation on purpose. Put that there for now. This is safe for later. So a little bit of salt, just a touch of olive oil, and then I'm going to make a garlic paste. So crush them up first in your mortar and pestle. You can also just chop them up, or you don't even have to. You can throw them in there and stew them. You just cut them a little bit, but I want a garlic pizza sauce, god damn it. Oh yeah. That's good. In fact, let's get the fucking onions up in there. Let's get the onions in there. We'll just make a paste with all this shit. We'll have to cook it for less time. This will be our aromatic base for our sauce. And then at the end of it, we're gonna blitz the sauce with an immersion blender. Oh yeah. So this doesn't have to be like super perfect and pasty or anything. Salt will also help abrade it a little bit, and we'll have to add less later on when we make the stuff. Make the sauce itself. You could also add, I'm not gonna, but you could add all sorts of stuff in here for any sauce. You could just fucking eat this on toast, I bet. It'd probably be good. Garlicky though, hot. Dude, there we go. So, yeah, that's good. You gotta suck the knob, lick the knob. Sitting around, we just gotta get this boiling. It's on high. A little tea kettle here. I'm gonna actually flip these over. So they're all like this. I'm only using 4 tomatoes. I mean, I'm not gonna make a ton of sauce. Shouldn't take too long. We can see we've done 20 minutes so far. You can see that this is rising a little bit. I might even let it rise for its hour. We'll see. But it's starting to smell yeasty and delicious. I think I'm gonna make a pepperoni pizza later. But I don't know. Might fuck around and do something with some eggplant, or I got some zucchini over here. Ooh, thin cut zucchini and pepperoni. Ooh, that might be good as fuck. The eggplant would be good though with this garlic. I don't know. I don't know what kind of pizza I'm gonna make later. We'll see. I also have some of this Sherry Reserva vinegar that I've been meaning to use for a long time. Yeah. I have some fresh mozzarella. You know what? I might make a margarita pizza. Might use some of this shitty basil. Maybe I'll save this. Yeah. Here's what I'll do. I'm not gonna put this basil. I'm not gonna cut this basil up because you can see it's like a little wilty and shit. I'm gonna steep this basil in the sauce. I'm also gonna steep the. No, I'm not gonna steep the tomato stem. I've never tried it before, but they always smell so good to me. I bet it fucking would be good. I'm not gonna do it because it seems like it might be dirty. Just get particulates off it. That's probably why. Okay. This stuff, on the other hand, has been washed. It's just like old. It's at the end of its life, but it's still got tons of flavor in it. So I'm just gonna steep it, and then we'll take it out before we finish the sauce. I just need this to boil. Ooh, I need this. Just needs to ball. It smells so good, dude. Would lick it. Lick it. Anyway, yeah, you can just dice this up if you want. Mince your garlic, you don't have to, but when you crush it, the cells break apart and you get a lot more flavor. That's exploding with flavor, dude. What else can we do? I mean, we have some thyme. I could add a little thyme in here. There you go. I have some dry ass thyme I'll add to add some herbaceousness, and that'll reconstitute over a little bit. Keep my dry waste over there. Here, I'll smash it up a little bit more. Just because I got it. I don't want to add like a basil leaf in here because I'm going to cook this, so it's going to like get a little hot. You can see how much water that, just what's in there, the onion and garlic has expressed already. Dude, that's so fucking tasty. Alright, this is rolling boil. Boom. Just sort of, a tea kettle, you can use anything. And pour the boiling water over each tomato. We're gonna wait for about 5 minutes or so. It's very soothing. Very soothing. And then we're gonna use the same pot, without the water in it, to, okay, let those steam. About 5 minutes. Well, we'll just look at that. The timer's already going. 21:45, all right. What was that, fucking 16:45? So we're gonna let these steam. We're gonna cut the skins off, and then I'm gonna take some olive oil, put it in the bottom of this, and when I'm done with the water out, put some let it dry out on this. Get this cooking. Start to get some color. You'll smell it, and then we'll add the tomatoes. We're going to process tomatoes first though. So, and by the time we're done with all of that, our dough should be ready to go. So I'll be back in like 5-ish minutes. All right, these have been going for a little bit. They are good to go. Let's just do like a spider. We'll pull them out like that. Yeah, let me do this. I want to get my cutting board all wet. Just give them a little landing spot. They're gonna be a little hot right now, probably. So we're just gonna give them a sec. All right. We'll dump this out in a little bit. Yeah, they're warm. And then I'm just gonna use the back of the knife, cut the skin, and then we're gonna peel the skin. See where my thumb is? Probably easier with a paring knife, but I can grab one. And sort of peel the skin off. You see? Don't worry about getting your hands wet. Actually, yeah, no, we're good. We're good for right now. Just peel. It's gonna be a little warm for you. If you gotta wait, if it's too hot for you, go ahead. But my hands are, well, can't work in kitchens for a super long time or cook often without getting used to the heat. Heat is your friend. Don't be afraid of warming something up. You can also core this out. You can cut it in half. Some people do it this way. It's kind of lazy, but I think it works. We're just going to cut this up. Alright, and then I'm just going to put these here so the juice doesn't get everywhere on me, but we're going to do the same thing. I'm just going to, you can just cut right the fuck into them, like, you can just do that if you want. You don't have to be delicate. Anyway, peel these babies. Oh yeah. Should come right off unless it's not. There we go. Gotta make sure I grab it better. You can see it's a really easy way to get the whole tomato available. You can use canned tomatoes, but it's tomato season. Why would you right now? You know? Why would you use canned tomatoes? Seems like a skill issue. You don't have to cut these any particular way. Just break them down a little bit. You don't have to be too finicky about it because it's going to fall apart when we cook it. You can also just do this with your fingers. It's probably way easier if I'm not being burned. Use the knife if you are feeling like it's way too hot for you. And then I'll do this. And then you can also core a tomato essentially like that. Again, you don't have to be too finicky about it. If you're in a French restaurant, you do, but you're at home. You're at home. It doesn't have to be super efficient or anything. You probably grew these in your garden, or you went to the market and got them. You know, Don't be too precious. If you're trying to make a Michelin star meal at home, then fucking go for it. But we're just trying to make something delicious. So, like I said, we don't need to fuss. Tomatoes are very juicy boys. Here. See, literally it doesn't matter. It just fucking doesn't matter. Okay. Let me get that up off the counter. Because... Blink. Make sure to save your tomato juice. Okay, first things first. Squizzer. Well, we don't have to use the garlic olive oil. We got garlic in there. Use regular olive oil. Squizzer of oil. Okay. We're gonna take our aromatics. And let's see if the oil's ready. You can see it shimmering and moving around easily, almost water-like. Good to go. Stuff will start frying in it immediately, as you can see. Now, at first, it's going to get some of this water out. But there's also some oil in there, making that look wetter than it is already. There you go. Oh yeah, immediately you can smell it. It smells great. We're not going to fry these off too hard, but we do want to get that like rough, garlicky smell out. Because we crushed them, it won't take long at all. If you just dice them up, this will take a few minutes. Like you're going to have to like spend some time doing it. In fact, if you didn't crush them, you can put these in, if they're cut up and diced, while you're doing the tomatoes, and by the time you're done with tomatoes, this will be ready to go. Just going to stir it in between each tomato. Also, if you dice it up, I would add the onions and garlic separately. I would do the onions first, and the garlic, you know, a minute, 90 seconds before you put in the tomatoes. All right, so that's cooking. You can smell that it's getting nice, and like, I don't know, you can smell when things start to toast and get golden. So we're gonna let that go for just a second. That's definitely gonna need salt, but we won't know until later. And then get one more sort of, oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, that's got some color on it. All the tomatoes go in the pool. Be careful so you don't splash yourself or whatever. And then, because I still got some juice on here, ooh, toss all the basil in. Well, actually, let's wait a second. We'll wait a second on the basil. And get this extra shit off my board and just into there. Okay. Clean as you go kind of situation when the ADHD lets you. I'm going to add salt right now because I know this needs it, but we'll add more later probably. Okay, so I want to get this incorporated, and it's going to look like bullshit for a while. We're going to let this stew for a minute. Actually, probably like 15-20 minutes maybe. But as you can see on the timer here, we're going to do this with the lid off because we want this to evaporate and reduce down. Now we put the basil in. I'm just going to nestle that, and this will just steep like tea, give a basil-y background note, and we won't have to deal with any of the leaves in there. You can also do that with the garlic. You don't actually have to eat it. Okay. I'll keep this reserved. Bink. Okay, so here's what we're going to do next. I'm going to clean up a little bit. This dough is going to turn into smaller dough balls, and then we're going to let them start fermenting while we cook our sauce. I'll be right back. We're going to take this dough and put it in two separate containers. We're going to roughly make same size dough balls. I guess we'll get our scale out and see how close we can get. Let's see. So we should have about 500 grams. So I'm going to take this has been fermenting for a little bit. We got to do a couple things here. Let's do this. Set Okay. Gotta make a couple dough balls. Also, our sauce is going. Okay. I fucked that up. Okay. So when you stir this, and stir it every once in a while, I'm gonna turn it down a little bit. Let it simmer instead of boil. Take the back of the spoon and like smash a little bit, just as you go. Just gonna pull this dough ball out, and we're gonna make a couple other boys. Put them down there. We're done with you. A couple other boys. 492. Okay, and so roughly in the middle of it. 247 or something like that. Close enough. Okay, and so now we take the bottom, bring the seams up, and there's a couple ways to do it. We'll do it this way. You can pinch. This is more like a Neapolitano style. They sort of pinch it off on the bottom. We'll see how they act, but you gotta do this. And then these are pretty dry, so we don't need. I like to take this, and we want to tuck the bottoms under itself until we get a seam. You can see how it has like air pockets underneath. Take some oil and take our guy and put him in there, cover him with oil, loose lid on. That's a boy. All right, same thing over here. Do this. Also, some people don't do the flour at this stage. They just do olive oil. I have done that before. Oh, I didn't show you the opposite way because I like doing the pinch. Anyway, I'll do the pinch. It's really easy. You also don't want to like smash the gas out of these so much, but these are going to rise. Just create a little seal. Some olive oil right there, and then olive oil on top. Good to go. 2 dough balls. So now we're just gonna sit around and wait for this to turn into like a sauce. And these can proof at room temperature for, well, until they double in size. I'm thinking about maybe like half an hour or so. And this is just quicker. Now, what's way better is, and I'm going to do this with one of them, I'm going to do this with the green lid one over there, to seal it up, and we're going to take it and put it in the fridge and just leave it cold ferment for up to maybe 4 days. It'll just get better every single day. There will be a peak though, and then it'll start falling apart on you because the yeast in there will just start making alcohol. But yeah, we're going to leave this out. It's going to hopefully double in size, then we'll turn it out, or maybe even triple in size. Big and plimboy. We'll turn it on here, we'll make a pizza, and we'll use that sauce. Our sauce has reduced, it's starting to look good. Let's fish out the little bits. Basil, I don't really care. I'm not like gonna get too pure on it. I just don't like, if any makes it into the final product, it'll be delicious. So it's not a big deal. I just don't want these stem boys in there. There we go. And everything else is going to get blended up, and it will be delicious. Okay, so let's get this one. Okay. So we're going to take in our immersion blender. Got my KitchenAid immersion blender right here. This is, I use this constantly, it's awesome. Super recommend. You should be able to taste that. If you use fresh tomatoes, it's just so much better. than the canned stuff. The canned stuff is good though. Don't get me wrong. Oops. All right. So we're just gonna keep this cooking. Might add a little bit of. Almost certainly gonna add some olive oil. We're just gonna go around. Just gonna get this less chunky and more homogeneous. Just kind of move it around. Make sure you kind of get a chance to get everything. You don't have to do this, but I think it's better. Okay, you can see how it's. Give a squiz of olive oil, give it a little more luxury. See how it's getting a little glossy. All right, now let's give it a taste. Get the sides of your bowl, your pot. See how delicious it looks? All right, let's taste it for seasoning. It was pretty spot on earlier, but now it's blended. I also added like a small pinch of sugar. Cuts the acidity a little bit, but adds more round. Honestly, I'm a little scared to add more salt to this because it's really good. Just a touch more. Just a touch. Probably like, yeah. All right, so this sauce is done. I'm gonna let it cool in the pot. I'm just gonna let it sort of, it's a little bit waterier than I want it, so I'm gonna let it, see all that steam coming up? That's moisture coming out of it. So we're gonna let that sit off the heat. It's gonna tighten up as it cools. Let's taste it for seasoning again. Yeah, buddy. Yeah, it's good as fuck. Okay, so that's gonna sit around for a little bit. We're gonna let that cool, and then I'll put it into another container. If I had another squiz bottle, maybe I would do that. That would be super convenient for a pizza. If I can track one down, I'll do that. Other than that, we're just gonna wait. I don't know. Let's look at this. It hasn't really been that long. Maybe 15 minutes or so. You can already see this is spread out. We're probably gonna wait. I'll check back at 6:30 here, so roughly 40 more minutes from now, and this should probably be good to go. I did turn the air on, so it might slow down a little bit. Anyway, this is good as fuck. It's like leaving a. Tomatoes have natural like MSG and shit in it. I love tomatoes, dude. Anyway, so this is pizza sauce. It's easy, no big deal. I don't usually make it though. I don't eat a ton of. We don't eat a lot of sauce here, so I usually just buy some. But I have tomato seasoning. So, all right, that's it for like 40 minutes. Be back. Okay, let's make some pizza. I got some semolina here. I'm gonna put down a little bit of semolina on here, and I'm gonna put it on my surface just a little bit, and then again a little bit more right on top. Okay. Turn this out and it should fall out. You can see it's risen quite a bit. Now here we don't want to let go of too much of the air. So there we go. It should release. I'm actually going to grab a little. Do I have some AP right here? I don't. I'm going to grab some bread flour. You can see how nicely that's risen. Okay, I'll do it right here too. Okay. Just push it out. And so we're making the crust. Literally just shape it like a crust. Let me get some more AP on this real quick, or some bread flour, just so that it makes it better. And then take your knuckles and then just do a little pizza shape. It's nice and warm because it wasn't in the fridge, so it's pretty easy to work with. This can go out a decent amount. You start to get a feel for it and see how thin it gets. Should be a good size pizza. You don't want to make it too big. I don't want any air bubbles. Okay, we're gonna take our sauce. It's gonna come together pretty quick. We're just making a margarita pizza. So I'm gonna put a little olive oil around the edge. I don't want that on the peel so much. Do this. You can see it's nice and bright because of our fresh tomatoes. It's pretty easy all together after you do it a couple times. And then put some fresh mozz. And at the end, we'll put some basil on it. But this won't take long. It's a large pizza. You don't need a ton of this fresh mozzarella. It'll get pretty milky. If you want more of a traditional, like, full coverage of cheese, you can do, like, you know, full fat mozz or whatever shredded. And do one more. Kind of want to work relatively fast. I think I'm gonna have a little problem getting this off the peel at first. Not too bad, it'll catch. That olive oil stuck to it. Okay, so I'm gonna get it in there. Let's pull it. Pull it. Okay, we lost our shape, but it doesn't really matter. Should just put more semolina. But either way, I mean, like, that'll come out beautiful. So now what we got to do is broil immediately. I made it a little bit too big for my peel. That's okay. And this will come together fast, so we're not gonna skip ahead or anything. We're here for the whole process. Just get a nice surface ready to go. Okay. Flour. I can smell it so nice. Okay. This going. Sometimes you gotta move at a little speed, you know? And then we're gonna take this basil, roll it up, cut down the center, and then little strips. Okay, be a nice fragrant addition to our pizza. I'm gonna use this to keep it there. Okay, let's look at the pizza. Oh yeah, it's going. It's gonna be beautiful. Nice long flatbready looking rustic pizza. A place near me makes big long oval pizzas like this. That's how you make an oval pizza, by the way. Shape it into an oval. Anyway, when that starts going a little bit more, I'm gonna flip it. I don't really need this anymore. You see the poolish that we made earlier is starting to like bubble and stuff. Just, again, leave this out. It's gonna stay all day. Just sits on your counter. You don't have to do nothing. We're also gonna use a little bit of this sherry vinegar, and it'll be our pizza. All right, so we're gonna flip it. Well, turn it. All right, you see how big this is? Like, get that to the back there. Perfect. All right, we can keep it going. Okay, we're gonna keep going. You'll see the top of that get, you know, pizza-y. Oh yeah, we're pretty much good to go. All right, stop broiling. Oh yeah. Put it on here. You can see that, you can hear it's crackly. Take our basil. I have a lot of really good basil. If you did have a lot of basil, you could put full leaves of basil on there for like a really trad margarita. You probably have redder tomatoes if you were in Italy or something. So this might be a little more red. And then just finish it with your balsamic. And then, if you want to squeeze. And then if you really want to get fancy, just a little bit of salt on the edge. Give a little something. That's unsalted mozzarella on there. And we're pretty much done. We just gotta cut it. This is my, you can only juice limes with this. Did you know that? So we'll just, you know, make a nice, I want to go do this down the center. And we'll do like that. Whew, it's hot. Okay, so I'll take one of these. You can see the bottom, nice and leoparding, etc. If you want it to be even more crisp, again, just let it continue to preheat in the oven. The longer you let it preheat, the more done your bottom's going to be. Yeah. So that crust is really good, but as the other one ferments in the fridge, it's going to get more bready and more flavorful. The fresh mozz is great. You can do Parmesan. I mean, you can do whatever you want on here, you know, to make this. Good. The olive oil and the vinegar. Wow. That's really good. Okay. Let's try to make a pizza.